The Court of Appeal in Abuja has confirmed Philip Shaibu as the Deputy Governor of Edo State, rejecting the appeal filed by the Edo State House of Assembly, which sought to uphold his impeachment. Although the exact date of the ruling was not disclosed, the Court of Appeal's decision aligns with the previous judgment by the Federal High Court in Abuja. The lower court had dismissed the Assembly's impeachment of Mr. Shaibu, which took place on April 8. The Assembly had accused Mr. Shaibu of leaking government secrets, a charge he claimed was fabricated due to his governorship aspirations. Following his removal, the Assembly confirmed Omobayo Godwins as his replacement, nominated by Governor Godwin Obaseki.
Now, on the 17th of July, the Federal High Court overturned Mr. Shaibu's removal and reinstated him, ordering that his entitlements since April be paid and instructing the Inspector General of Police to restore his security detail. Despite the ongoing legal proceedings, Mr. Shaibu resumed his duties as Deputy Governor, leading the state government to accuse him of impersonating Mr. Godwins. In response, Mr. Shaibu called the allegation an affront on the judiciary and emphasized that Mr. Godwins was an appointee of Governor Godwin Obaseki, not an elected official. Now, joining us is the President, African Public Interest Lawyers Union, Andrew Emwanta. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Olive. It's a pleasure to be on the program this morning.
Good to have you. Let's, get your thoughts on the recent updates with regard to Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu. As of last week, it seemed like there was going to be some back and forth, but as of now, it seems like he has been fully reinstated. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, thank you. I was in court yesterday. The funny part of this whole thing is that before now, we used to hear stories that, the court gave a judgment, but they have gone to obtain an order of stay of execution. But I was surprised that yesterday, none of them, they are lawyers, they had over 5 senior advocates, none of them raised this issue of stay of execution before the Court of Appeal. Because I know as a matter of law, I teach law, when you apply to the lower courts, and if that application is not granted because you have an appeal, you make that same application before the Court of Appeal. That didn't play out yesterday. So it means that all those stories we heard from the Edo State government are all lies. But yesterday, the Court of Appeal in appeal number 645 dismissed the appeal filed by the Edo State House of Assembly, in respect of the impeachment proceedings. And I think it's good we situate this. When the impeachment process started, the deputy governor was not issued with the allegations against him. And of course, the governor quickly went ahead to set up, a panel of persons who were either his previous or past appointees and associates of the PDP. So we went to court. We filed suit 405. And the court actually gave an interlocutory order, telling the House of Assembly and those involved to come and show cause why they should proceed. But in spite of that court order, the day the court was to, review its order, that was the day they actually effected the impeachment. But luckily for us, we're already in court. So I think it was because they didn't want this case to proceed. We deliberately filed that case, and in the official name of the deputy governor, we didn't file that case as Philip Shaibu against the House of Assembly. We filed that case as deputy governor of Edo State because we knew that they were going to break the law. But after we realized that they had made up their mind that to go against the court order that was granted, we had to now bring up another case, which is suit 478. So I'm trying to now make you understand that the decision given yesterday was in respect of suit 405 that was initially filed before the impeachment as against 478, for which the court eventually gave that judgment. And because relief 2 of 478 is exactly what we're asking for 405, the judgment of Justice Omotosho covers the field. Why the decision of yesterday is unique is that Omobayo Godwins, who was appointed by Obaseki, was claiming to be the deputy governor in this present appeal. And that is why the House of Assembly now brought up this, appeal against an earlier ruling, where we now wanted to change the status of the case from deputy governor to Shaibu. They quickly rushed to the Court of Appeal, challenging the jurisdiction of the court. And we're happy that yesterday the Court of Appeal graciously dismissed that appeal because the appeal was without merit. And that, in a way, has reaffirmed the decision earlier given by Justice Omotosho, saying that the office of Deputy Governor of Edo State was not vacant, is not vacant, and will not be vacant until 12th November 2024, when the joint tickets of Obaseki and Shaibu would have expired by a function of time. And I think it's a victory for democracy, victory for lovers of what is right, victory for the rule of law. And it remains one fact that Edo State has a joint ticket of Obaseki and Shaibu. It does not matter whether the governor likes the deputy governor or not. It is what the Court of Appeal has affirmed, the judgment of Justice Omotosho, stating clearly that Philip Shaibu remains the deputy governor of Edo State.
So what does that mean for Edo State in the next less than 3 months? We know that the elections will be coming up on the 12th of November, which is less than 3 months from today. Seeing that we have a governor and a deputy governor that obviously do not like each other and most likely may not work. What does this mean, may not work together? What does this mean for the people of Edo State? Also, looking at the fact that Philip Shaibu is no longer a part of the party.
Yeah, thank you. I think I'll start with the last. The law does not say that as a deputy governor, if you decide to cross carpet, you lose your seat as deputy governor. We've seen that in many instances. In Ondo recently, the person even is a candidate of the PDP, Agbola, was not on the same ship with his boss, Mimiko. There was a time he even joined another party to run for, not Mimiko, the governor that died, Akeredolu, SAN. So you find that as a deputy governor, unlike a legislator who loses his state, you can decide to join another party. And remember that the deputy governor did not just leave PDP, he was forced out of the party. You saw the way the governor treated him. The governor treated him as an outcast. The national leadership of PDP failed to intervene. They were taking sides. So, it was in that stormy gale, the people of APC reached out to him, and he acceded to their request. And, he's now a blessing to the party. This is the first time in our state history when we have a PDP governor and an APC deputy governor, which the Court of Appeal has affirmed yesterday. So the beauty of it is that Obaseki's dictatorship has been cut into two. Initially, he appointed somebody as deputy governor. The law does not allow him, when you have a sitting deputy governor, to appoint, because he was in a hurry to get votes from Akoko Edo, where his impostor comes from. The man just keeps breaking the law. And I'm happy that because the Court of Appeal has given this decision, it makes it very clear that two of them will remain in office in November, because by the grace of God, on September 21st, Edo people will come all out to choose a new governor. And the implication of that is that it's a clear countdown to the end of Obaseki's 8-year reign, which for us, it is for Estonians to now assess him across sectors. Because it's very unfortunate that a governor whose tenure is about to end, the man is busy fighting everything that can be fought. Unfortunately, your own deputy governor, and I must quickly say that in the history of politics, we've hardly seen in our state a situation where a governor will kick out his deputy. And what the governor fails to realize is, in the politics of a state, your deputy governor is like your mate, is like your wife, is your political wife, not the first lady. The first lady has no place in our constitution. That office is unconstitutional. So this is a man you would have brought very close, together people can pilot the affairs of the state. You saw how the deputy governor went on more than one TV station to explain what he has gone through under Obaseki, and explain that the man is a very lawless person, that in spite of court, he does not even obey court orders. So I'm happy that the Court of Appeal, which is a superior court, has put pay to those lies that they are finding an application
if I may
for
interject
state.
at this point, Mr. Emwanta, when you're saying the man is a lawless person, we're talking about Governor Godwin Obaseki, right?
I quoted his deputy governor.
All right, great. I just wanted to highlight certain things.
Person.
And when he says he's a lawless person, is he referring to just this particular case or predating this?
No, before now, and I'll tell you why I think he's a lawless person. Because I served in his government. Obaseki does not obey decisions of court. He does not obey orders of court. There was a particular supporter of his in the APC, Tony Kabaka. There was a court order for the man's house not to be demolished. In spite of that court order, Obaseki went ahead to demolish his house. And eventually, when the court gave its judgment, the court has given Edo State a very huge bill. The damages done will be paid by Edo taxpayers. Whether we like it or not, it's a judgment of court. And unfortunately, too, you discover that the National Judicial Council, which is the highest decision-making body for the judiciary, last year recommended 8 judges for appointment. We got a court order asking the governor to come and show cause. The governor disobeyed that order. Instead of swearing in the 8 of them, he swore in only 5. As we speak, 3 of these judicial officers are in limbo. This is a man, he has no respect for court orders, he has no respect for the judiciary, he has no respect even for his own deputy governor. He has no respect for the Nigerian Constitution, and no respect for Edo people who elected both of them on the joint ticket.
So why I was asking you that question, and you've highlighted it, is because I wanted to say what your response would be to those who say that Godwin Obaseki has worked with Philip Shaibu. They came together on the joint ticket, and Philip Shaibu has also been, for years prior to this falling out, supported and thrown his weight behind Godwin Obaseki. So is he only speaking up now? Did he not see maybe a flaw in character? And does this not in a way also affect the reputation of Philip Shaibu? Hold that thought. We'll go on a break, and when we come back, we'll have you answer that question. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're still looking at the drama going on in Edo State and the reinstatement of Philip Shaibu as the Deputy Governor of the state. We're joined by Honorable Andrew Emwanta. Thank you once again for joining us. Now, before we went on the break, I'd asked you a question as to what your thoughts are and your reactions to those who say that Philip Shaibu cannot come now and cry foul about Godwin Obaseki being a lawless person, because for years, not only has he worked with him, but he has thrown his support behind him. So what will your reaction to that be?
I can tell you for free that sometime last year, March precisely, the deputy governor queried funds that accrue from local government IGRO. He was the one that raised that alarm March last year, and I think that is one of the reasons why the governor became angry with him. That in an entire month, the 18 local governments raised a paltry sum of 3 million. Before that time, allocations to, local governments and the IGRO was being shared by Obaseki and his goons. And for the deputy governor to have raised that alarm, that must have made the governor to see him as exposing the quote-unquote secrets of government. I've said it severally, and I'll say it again, that the last ESCO meeting we had on the 4th of May last year, the deputy governor confronted the immediate past secretary to state government that all the funds that accrue from the 30% oil derivation funds were being concentrated in one local government in Bobaoka, where the SSU comes from, and complained that most of the contractors working in the state, they were all doing the projects at the behest of the secretary to the state government. And of course, the governor was a beneficiary of that enterprise. So having raised that, they also saw that the deputy governor was raising certain issues that ought to have been kept secret. So, if a man serving in the government having taken so much, having seen so much of abuse, do you know in the past 1 year, the Edo State Oil and Gas Commission is being run by one man, the immediate past secretary to the Edo State Governor, Sarudionge, and resources from that place that was meant for development was concentrated in the local government he comes from. The governor's contractors were the ones doing projects in this area. So, these were instances in government where the deputy governor protested. And because before that time, he was doing 100% loyalty, and he noticed that that loyalty was now, mistaken for cowardice, he started speaking up. And of course, when he now wanted to run, that was where the governor's grievance started from. That, okay, he's a loyal man. Okay, somebody that has, managed the Oil and Gas Commission for me. But you keep complaining. You were the one that exposed the fraud. How would 18 local government raise 30 million naira? What is 30 million naira? Oredo alone, the resources from Oredo is such that Oredo should not make less than 50 million. The local government should not make less than 50 million. And it will surprise you to note that it is the governor's younger brother that is the chairman of that local government, Oredo local government. So what we are seeing in Edo State is a case of people now, the scales in the governors, or rather the deputy governors fell. And it was when those scales fell, he now said, Obaseki, you must account to Edo people. Yeah, and that is the source of the governor's hatred for the deputy governor and his decision to, according to what the governor told the deputy governor has said this in several in the media and elsewhere, that the governor said, I will destroy you if you run for the office of governor.
All right,
but we thank God for the court of appeal that has restored him fully as deputy governor of Edo State.
All right, Mr. Emwanta, I also wanted you to speak as quickly as possible on the elections that are coming up. We have 3 leading candidates, Aswe Godalo, Monday Okwebolo, and of course, Olumide Akpata. What are your thoughts? What's the conversation like in Edo State?
Yeah, thank you. As we speak, I heard the candidate of Labour Party, I think he went to America or is about to go to America. Aswe Godalo in the past 1 week has been in America. And I think maybe that's a new frontier, knowing fully well that his candidacy is in question. Remember, about a week or rather 2 or 3 weeks ago, the Court of Appeal, we saw the certified true copy, which of course dismissed an appeal he filed concerning his certificate, his voter's card forgery case. And again, yesterday, the Court of Appeal has reserved judgments in the second appeal that was filed in respect of that case. Before that time, the Federal High Court had said that the process leading to his emergence, the court invalidated that process. They have 4 appeals for which judgment is being awaited. So as I speak to you, the PDP campaign is in limbo. They have paused. It's APC that have been campaigning across the 3 districts. APC has conducted rallies. We are doing word-to-word campaign. Yesterday, the campaign train was in the local government of the PDP candidates who were in his village, Ewohimi. And the campaign there was huge because the crowd that came out was very one.
Will the APC candidate
backyard? That was where APC campaigned yesterday.
Yeah,
so I think APC is the party to beat. Labour Party poses a big threat because when you look at the statistics in the last election,
I understand, Mr. Emwanta.
Labour Party,
Mr. Emwanta, kindly hold on.
So I think that is where we have.
Kindly hold on. Can you hear me?
Labour Party as a bigger threat than PDP.
All right. I would like, I'm not sure if we can hold you to it. If you have any relationship with the APC's candidate, if we can ask that he please come on television and share his thoughts with the Nigerian people on his plans for Edo State. He's been accused of shying away from the media and, wanting to speak with the press. So can we hold you to it, and of course, ask that you please help pull him to our television screens?
I can assure you of that because I wear 2 caps. Much as I'm the president of the African Public Interest Lawyers Union, I'm also the deputy director of publicity of the APC campaign. But we'd like to hear from him directly.
We'd like to hear from him directly.
I can tell you for free that we're actually arranging a media rally, and we have about 4 TV stations whose journalists will come to interview our candidate on a myriad of issues, including his 5-point agenda. We have News Central, we have Arise TV, we have channels, and we have AIT. And I can assure you that the date for that is in the process of being fixed. And I'll tell you why we've not really had debates. The PDP, their ticket is in limbo. The court have said they don't have a candidate by virtue of the fact that they failed to organize proper primaries and the issue of the voters' card forgery, which is a very strong disqualifying criteria. So when PDP lacks that, clear ticket, it's difficult to now talk about the debate. Because it will not be fair if tomorrow the court eventually takes out PDP.
Yeah, Mr. Emwanta, we need to wrap up here.
As an exercise in futility. That's why channels.
One candidate, kindly hold on. We need to wrap up. I apologize. We need to wrap up here. But, one candidate cannot be depending on another candidate before he appears on television and speaks with the people. That's not a good enough excuse. But thank you very much for joining us.
I didn't say that. What I'm saying is that because the PDP's candidate's ticket is in limbo. That is why most organizers of debates have not been able to fix that.
Right.
But I can assure you that if you want to appear on your platform,
we're holding you to your promise, Mr. Emwanta.
It's just that having this interview done,
but we have to go now.
As a candidate, he cannot be.
Mr. Emwanta, we have to go now. Thank you so much.
But I assure you that there's a bigger rally being arranged.
And we need to keep the conversations going. Remember, to our viewers this morning, we have a lot more coming your way in the second half of Breakfast Central.